Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. Jasmine from the JasmineBrand.com is here.
Yes.
And Kirk Franklin and his better half, Tammy Franklin, is here.
Hey, y'all.
Did you see how your voice went up when you said that?
But she's never been here before. We're
I
kind of
know.
used to you now.
And earlier I was, Claudia was co-hosting, but I was almost the only girl. So now you're the only guy.
Outnumbered.
How does it feel,
outnumbered.
Kirk, to be the only guy in the room?
I'm a fan of women, so
He really
I love
is,
I love the conversation and just the energy of what women bring to the table. So I'm
Okay.
extremely happy. Remember, I was raised by a woman.
Yeah,
by
that's
myself.
true.
So I'm just a super fan, but I'm glad that you got a finally chance to meet Tammy.
I know. I feel like
person,
we've never had a
finally.
chance to meet in
You're
person.
gorgeous. So are you,
and so
Jasmine.
are you.
Thank you.
And I'm just excited that you guys have this show called The One that's about to start. Jasmine and I actually watched the first episode,
Yep.
so we got a little sneak preview.
What'd you think?
I like it.
Yeah. She's actually
I'm actually what?
nothing.
Oh, what? Looking for a man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, season 2?
I don't want to say it.
I was
and then
like, what?
Maybe I shouldn't.
Like, if it's a season 2, you gonna come on?
No, she ain't coming.
No, but I'll
I'm kidding.
act like I am.
But so tell us, because it's a little different than other dating shows that
Yes.
we've seen, right? Because at first I was like, are the two people, the Bachelor and the Bachelorette, are they going to go on a date with each other? But it doesn't happen that way. So
Or at least not yet.
You have to wait and see.
Yeah,
you have to
'cause,
kind of wait and see.
yeah.
But you're right. Like, we do have a Bachelor and a Bachelorette, which makes it a lot different. We have a cast of African Americans, which also makes it different. And then you have our Bachelor and Bachelorette who are more accomplished and seasoned in their lives. Ashley, our Bachelorette, is 37 years old. She's a chemist.
She's so pretty, too.
Isn't she pretty? And then Brent, we got Salt and Pepper Bay, and he's, a realtor. And so they're a little further along in their lives compared to other dating shows, which, people are younger.
Right.
So it gives, a different thing. These people have lived life. Some may have kids, so it's different.
I have a question now. It's interesting that you said that she was pretty, but when she mentioned The Bachelor, you didn't say he was handsome. Is there a reason why?
Well, he's not unattractive to me, but I just thought she was gorgeous.
Gotcha.
And then I think he's handsome. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
handsome. But the thing is also, when I think about him, I saw her dates too. So I was comparing him, and not that he's pleasant on the eyes, but I was thinking some other guys
And I
that she
think-
went out with. So I was like, oh, he's
I
cute
think
too. So.
for women, looks tend to matter more, which is something that happens. Like, for some reason, when it comes to, because even with him, I feel like he was very concerned, and you guys pointed this out on the show, with what the women are going to look like.
And she didn't. That wasn't on her list when you guys talked to her. That wasn't on her list at first.
It's just very interesting, though, and I think I'm going, Angela, that as far as that it was pointed out quickly how pretty she was, but I would always assume as a man that you guys would automatically think he was like fine or cute or whatever, and because y'all didn't automatically do that, for me, it's like, oh, wait a minute, they didn't really.
Well, it's so funny you say that, because Jasmine does not like good-looking men.
I don't.
Oh,
I like medium.
So you like someone like kind of maybe quirky?
Not quirky, but just like, I don't want super fine.
People think that good-looking men are
So
problematic.
why? Is it because
Really?
they're problematic?
They're headaches, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So it's not that you don't see them and think they're attractive. You just have decided and have done enough life where you like, I'm
Yeah,
done with
no.
that.
They've been cute since they were in kindergarten, and they've been treated different their whole life, and I'm cool.
Now let me ask you something, because
Okay.
I've had the same happen to me, where I was in high school and I was a receptionist at a barbershop, and I remember this guy
The
saying,
barbershop had a receptionist?
"Yes, girl."
And you had a
It was
job
little
in high school
I
already?
did. It was a little upscale, but there was a gentleman there that would come in to get his haircut, and he said to me, I am raising my son not to date you
Oh, okay.
because you're stereotypically
Too
pretty,
attractive?
Yes. And so I was like, and I wasn't being my mother did not raise me that way. She raised me to be a girl's girl, and I can tell from this day, from that upbringing and how I raised my daughters, that really stuck with me. But some of the same messaging, so has that ever happened to you, to where, because you're gorgeous?
Thank you.
And so some would say, the three of us are stereotypically,
Yeah.
I don't know if men are, I feel like, you're a man, so you can speak to this, but I feel like men are more intimidated by a successful woman as opposed to a woman that's super attractive.
something
Really?
As soon as they would see our skin color or whatever,
Okay.
People do make
automatically you're
assumptions
high maintenance.
about,
yeah,
yes,
are
about how
you're
you
not
are.
smart?
I'm very low maintenance.
I am, yeah, but as a man, I am, and I think most men are attracted to successful women, but also I don't know if some men may be intimidated because, I'm blessed to be in a certain kind of financial bracket,
Right.
So it's not intimidating to me. I would be very impressed with it. I'd be very motivated, inspired by it. But I can see maybe where a man that maybe if you make.
But Kirk, you also have not dated in a long time. You don't even.
You've been
know
out the
that-
game
you don't
forever.
Know what that is
Now,
like for-
now that's true right there. It's because from what I hear, the world has changed.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, you've hooked a lot of people up.
Yes, I have, and
You
I'm
know,
good
to-
at it.
He loves it.
And I'm
Outside
good
of the
at
show, you've hooked
loves
a lot
it.
of people up.
That's how we even.
Yeah,
that's
we
that's-
well, I say we, but
me,
he.
that's like give me
He,
mine.
let me go and give you your glory. He's had 3 successful marriages and getting ready to have a 4th. Mm-hmm. Yes,
See?
and
He's a pro.
And he did
Yeah.
the hookup.
He
This is
did.
what
We were,
I
you know,
do.
we were talking
This is what
about
I
this
do.
on the show just recently, though, is the rate of divorce too. We were talking about
It's
certain
high.
people, different celebrity divorces that are currently happening,
Yeah.
and then we did a deep dive into about 50% of marriages ending in divorce.
70.
Oh, and they said, and then
Some
second
70.
marriages, they said last even shorter. Like
Yeah.
there's a higher percentage.
Yeah.
When people get married a second time, there's more of a chance that they'll get divorced also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just talking about that, and
'Cause
we're
I think
like,
a lot of it was also the pandemic. Is I think we're seeing a lot. I think that we kind of downplay, or because we were so quick to get back to normal. I think that we have really forgotten the psychological
it was
trauma
Yeah, it was
that,
traumatizing.
that our species went through, being isolated
Right.
and alienated from each other. It's not normal.
Yeah, at
It's
all.
It was not healthy. And then also, people were locked in with each other in ways they've not been locked in each
We
other
couldn't
before.
escape each
Yeah.
other.
And so there was a level of tension that was happening because you had to coexist in ways that you never did before. And it was a lot of pressure on couples.
and
Was it
so
pressure
for
on-
you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
No,
we did.
it was.
Yeah,
it
we had
wasn't.
2 virtual counseling sessions
Yeah.
during COVID, just
Yeah.
because we were responding differently. He's, Kirk is extroverted, extremely, and I am. I'm a rule follower, so some of the stuff that they were doing before COVID, like having sanitizer in my car before after I got gas, so there were certain little things I was doing already. So I was like, okay, I'm already doing
It's
this.
regular.
Yeah, but whatever Dr. Fauci and them was saying, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I was the one washing my
right.
groceries,
Using the
and-
proper
and it was
N95 mask.
Yes, and it was new,
Yeah.
and I was scared to death. And he being an extrovert, the mask. At first, he was kind of getting with it, because we all, I would say the first 3 months, because we all were shut down. It was so new. He was compliant. But then it was like, and I'm like,
because he's used to being outside on the road,
yes,
not being in
and
the
we
house,
didn't know what
talking
this
to people.
was.
And my world shut down, and it was tension between Tammy and I. It was a lot of tension, and to be honest with you, it has spiraled in different ways in my life. That has also affected her life as well.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Well, first of all, we were supposed to be empty nesting, and the kids got stuck at home.
Let's start there.
Yeah, and the kids got stuck at home.
But y'all got a nice big home too. Imagine if you didn't.
But
Imagine people that had like small apartments and really got to be up
horrible,
on each other.
But what it was for me, though, it spoke into my trauma of being adopted.
Okay.
It's because I was adopted by an older woman, and I was 4, she was 64, and I had no siblings. Well, I had a half sister I would see maybe once a year, and I had no cousins, no relatives, and I lived in a neighborhood full of elderly people.
Right.
So I lived by myself, and it was very traumatic living by yourself. Like, I didn't go to parties. I didn't go because she wasn't taking me anywhere. And so I lived by myself, and then because I didn't have family, I got married to Tammy. I had a son. She had a daughter, which I really married Tammy for a daughter. And then adopted her daughter. No, seriously, she's a 5-year-old little girl. I was like, okay, Tammy's a bonus. I want that. I want to be her dad. To the point I chased down her daddy and made him sign the
he
papers.
did.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
so crazy.
Oh no, man! That little girl is my best friend, and so we get married with kids. Less than a few years later, we have 2 more kids. So I now have family that I never had, and it filled my space. So now that the kids are gone, I now have space that reminds me of the emptiness that I had
Oh, okay.
when I was a little boy and as a
Right.
young man, and it is very difficult for me. It is very difficult.
How did the online counseling sessions help you guys? What type of strategies?
I mean, if anything, I think for me personally, it helped me to look at it, which I think therapy can, if you will allow it to help you look at it from someone else's vantage point. Someone else is listening to you and kind of helping you hear one another. So I was able to hear him say, the places that I normally go to for sanity, even, they're closed. And, I am struggling. And so that's how it helped me. How did it help you, honey?
I think that it helped me just being able to have someone outside of your spouse to be able to vent to. I think that what can happen is that we've got to, sometimes in relationships, you expect for your spouse to be, or that significant other to be your all and all. And they're not created to be your all and all.
Right.
You're supposed to have a best friend, somebody, some homies, like there's. Like you're supposed to have a community and different friends for different things. Right.
It's a lot of burden to place on one person too,
yeah.
for
It's
everything that's going on.
Exactly. And so that's why the loneliness is so difficult, because she's not doing anything wrong. It is the emptiness that I feel from how I felt as a child. Like I literally, to this very day, I'm in therapy. I was in therapy. I had a session 48 hours ago, but Zoom. Like I am struggling with the changes in life more in ways that I never was prepared for.
Right.
And it came quick. And so in therapy, I started to even learn how he was talking about, when you talk about divorce and all of these things, it's the pandemic shifted us. It really did something to our psyche in ways that I think that we'll be for the next couple of generations talking about.
What do you say to people who don't want to get married anymore? Some people feel like marriage is not even important. And we've been hearing that conversation a lot.
As I'll say to them, don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm okay with
I
that.
think that we in society have made marriage the end goal, especially for women. And to me, it's unfair. So you have a lot of people getting married who really are not necessarily ready or don't really know if they want to. They just feel pressure. I mean, think about it. You go home for the holidays, and if you're anywhere near 30 or over, everybody like, baby, when you gonna get married? Never mind all these accomplishments that you have done. When you get married, you don't want no kids. You don't want. And so it's like what it gives is the message of what's wrong with you. And so I think if you don't want to get married, don't. Because it is a journey. It is beautiful, but it is a journey and it's hard. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
I mean, you have a show called The One. Do you think that there is one person for everybody? Do you believe in the idea of a soulmate, that there's a person out there that is like your perfect match? Or do you feel like, because people are dating, more than one person at a time on the show to find that person, or do you think that
the show, first of all, is entertainment.
Right.
So it should never be the Bible.
But I just want to know what you think. Like, do you believe in soulmates? Do you think that there's like one person out there for everyone?
I believe that I truly believe my husband is my soulmate. When I think about just the process of us, how we got together. I mean, I saw him direct a choir. We had not met yet, of course, when I was 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
There's so many moments of which we were placed into each other's lives. But also, too, what do you say to that person who got divorced? Can they not love again?
Yeah.
What about the person that spouses passes away? Yeah. Can they not love again? So I'm like, and maybe the love is different, or, that's not my situation. And so, but yeah, I think you can love more than one person, based on the circumstance life brings you.
What about simultaneously?
I think that's possible too.
I do. I think. I think because
the husband.
Well, I just think that I think that what we have to understand, man, is that we came to the planet imperfect, right? And we came to the planet flawed. And the reason why I've always struggled, and you and I've had these conversations, which I have so much respect for you, is because you allow so many people to come to your table throughout your career, is that you engage in conversations that are open, especially about faith. And I think that faith and Christianity in America has sometimes had this misogynistic, homophobic undertone that doesn't allow for real, honest, transparent conversations about our humanity.
Right.
And in our humanity, we have to understand that in our pursuit of love, we are coming from our background, from our trauma, from the way we were made up, from the way we were taught. And so you may have somebody that really fell in love with someone and really had a deep love, but maybe they had a long-distance relationship. Maybe the person was in the military, and the long-distance-ness of it was just so overbearing that it wasn't a fight, it wasn't nasty. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
That person later on meets somebody else, and they may mess around and get married. This guy comes from Japan or anywhere wherever he was stationed, and they see each other in the mall. Do you think it's just going to be, hi, brother, hi, sister? There's going to be some,
Right.
oh my God.
That's like sounds like a good movie. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You know he's
one of
already
the-
about it,
Right. But and then too, love also it's a choice. There are feelings that come with love, but it's a choice. And so I have made a decision. Could I love other people and entertain other things? Yeah, I could. But I have made a decision that the love I have for him, he's my choice that I'm making. So, I think that that's a part of it too. Yeah, people could go, well, depending on.
Let me open the door for some other possibilities.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but I think
I'm not
I'm sorry.
blind.
Yeah.
I see great looking guys.
Nobody better than Kirk,
and they
though.
see me.
I think I'm talking about the natural instinct.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that you can have a childhood love and you didn't see for years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like maybe you went to his mama's funeral. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
And there are these moments that y'all had, and when y'all see each other, there's still
Something there.
There's something there that does sometimes have to be managed.
Yeah.
You know what
and
I'm
so, and you're saying as long as you don't, but don't act on it, because that's when you make a
That's
choice.
the thing.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
But the question was, can you love?
Yeah, you
more
can.
than one
It's
person.
Have I loved
Yeah.
before my husband? Yeah, but this love is different.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, now let me ask you this. People also make the choice to say not give their all because people are scared to get hurt. What type of advice would you give when it comes to that? Because all the time it's like I have all these things that happened in my past, and now it's hard for me to open a door for somebody else, for me to love them, for them to love me, and for me to give it my all, because people are scared to take that risk.
Yeah, and I think that is a very real statement, and I think that is a real truth, that love will always be risky. And I even look at it even in my own faith, I profess to be a Christian, that's what I subscribe to, not a perfect one or anything like that. But, when you think of the narrative of Christianity and this guy named Jesus, right, dying for you, and I'm talking about the blue-eyed Jesus. I'm not talking about that one.
The white one.
No, not the white one.
Okay, not the white one.
The white one that looks like that he could work at 7-Eleven.
Okay.
That one. Nice, nice little, tan to him.
Little Middle Eastern situation.
Yeah. Nice, handsome Middle Eastern guy.
Got
nice
it.
beard, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Dope slippers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that
That
guy.
one.
Oh, I like
guy.
that one.
Yeah. That guy's good. And so, not the colonialized one, but that guy and the story about him loving me enough to give his life for me, knowing that I may reject him, that I may not accept him, that I may not rock with him, that's a risky act. And so love is a risky choice. And so anybody wanting to take the chance on love does need to understand, like you said, very clear, love will be risky.
Right, but
there's no
with
way around
risk,
it.
there's no reward.
Yeah. I want to ask you too, since you're both Christians, on the show, they kind of lived together at some point. So did you two live together? If you had to do it over again, would you? And how did you all feel about adding that element to the show?
No, we didn't live together.
Okay. Would it have been helpful? I know you're Christian, so I don't think Christians do the shacking up thing.
Some do though.
Yeah.
No, I know some people
Because you
that
also
are.
might never get married and just live together.
Yeah.
I do know some Christians that live together before marriage, and I do know that. That wasn't our story. We didn't.
Not
we didn't
because
live
we
together.
was like super saintly, And then remember, we came up in a culture where what is normal now, 25 years
Wasn't
ago,
normal.
Yeah.
it wasn't part of the social construct.
Yeah. Would it have been helpful, or it apparently
I don't
worked out
think
anyway?
I don't know that we would have gotten married.
Yeah, I don't think we're.
How did you feel about that element being?
Why do you say that? I want to know why. Why would that have?
Go ahead.
For me personally, it's something about the choice that I made, and then the lens in which I view it in is from my Christian viewpoint. So to me, not only did I make a choice, I made a covenant between my husband and God, and so it helps my decision in terms of, or my viewpoint in terms of how do I view conflict. How do I resolve it? I really take my vow seriously when I say for better or for worse. So it's like, this may be really, really hard, and I want to give up, and I'm not feeling you right now. Like, as Christians, we still have those same feelings towards each other. I mean, there have been times where I'm like, I'm just not feeling you. And, but my faith and my compass makes me go back to, okay, but I'm going to work through. This is how I feel. That's where I go back to love as a choice. I'm going to choose to remember in this moment when I'm not feeling it that I do love you. And so I'm going to push to work out of this moment. But I think had we lived together, it would have given me an out real quick.
Right. They do say people who live together before they get married, there's a higher rate of divorce because there's this feeling that I can leave when it doesn't work.
Yes.
And people feel like that when you live together, I can just move out.
Because you can.
Now, have I thought at times, and I'm sure has he thought at times, ooh, probably more so me. I've thought it more. Oh no. Yeah, I've thought that's real life. That's real honest, and I'm hoping that people of faith have real honest conversations. We need to. People need to hear. There are times, yes, that in 27 years, do y'all think it? I've been like, oh, I just love him because we love Jesus. We don't have any problem. No,
I like that voice.
I just love him. And that's the voice too. Jesus. You know, it's real deep. Jesus. No, I'm like, listen, I'm not feeling you right now.
Right.
And there, and you got to go over there for a minute. I'm gonna go over here for a minute. And I mean, that's real. Yeah.
She's dope, isn't she?
Yeah. Now, listen, I'm glad that Tammy's here. Because I've always been like, when do we get to meet your wife? And so I think for people to even see you on this show,
that's good.
Was there any like trepidation for you, or was
absolutely? Yeah, I was scared to death. I was scared to death. We've done, some things together before. Kind of one-off things like for the holidays and things, welcome to the holidays with the Franklins. We've done stuff like that. But I've never been responsible for a series and to host and, all those responsibilities. And so I was scared to death. But I have a friend group, they're actually a family group, and I remember them telling me, you're going to do for other ladies what you do for us all the time. I'm kind of like the counselor of my friend group and even in my family. And so that made me go, okay, well, I get to do what I'm doing. Okay. And then the production team was really, really good at wanting Kirk and Tammy to be Kirk and Tammy and whatever they thought that was and what we brought to the table. And so I remember one of the producers that was assigned to me, like the first couple of episodes, she would come and give notes. And then she came to me and she said, I want you to see, I haven't given you any notes for weeks now. So I want you to trust your gut and trust your instinct. And that spoke volumes to me. I was like, okay, I could trust my gut. All right. And so it was scary though, girl.
Yeah, I feel like you get your own spinoff now,
baby. I was like,
ooh.
She got the bug now.
No, man. That's
I'm
what
still
I'm
trying to
looking
figure
for.
that part out,
Okay.
but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now, for the song "All Things" that you also just put out,
Did
Kirk
you hear
Franklin,
it?
yes, I did.
What you think?
Oh, I love it. First of all, I mean, I think that you're just
You don't make duds
unanimously-
anymore,
yeah.
so.
You've broken records.
Make
you know
hits.
what I'm saying? What is it? 100 weeks on Billboard, like number one, whatever. Like, I mean, Kirk, say it because I don't want to just say whatever. What is the record that you just broke recently?
100 weeks. Number one for 100 weeks on the songwriters chart. I was on the gospel songwriters chart for 100 weeks, but all the other mainstream pop R&B charts, no other writer had been number one for 100 weeks.
All right,
Wow.
Period.
That's
So
a big
so
deal.
you broke that
Yeah.
record, right? And
I'm grateful.
I saw you said that you wrote this song, All Things, like you woke up and had the idea.
It woke me up out of my sleep. It did. It just woke me up out of my sleep. I heard it in my sleep, like God dropped it in my sleep, and I ran to the piano and just kind of, just messed with it and, just kind of worked on it over the next few days.
Oh, that's beautiful. And once I heard that too, it also makes you listen to the song differently. When you know somebody,
backstory.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
hear the backstory, I feel like it makes you relate to a song in a different type of way. Do you guys have dreams at night like that you remember? We had this conversation. Do you have dreams and then wake up and remember your dreams?
Sometimes, or I'm going throughout my day and I'm like, something will spark my thought process of the dream, and I'm like, wait a minute, was that real? Did I really have that? But he speaks a lot in his sleep.
You're a talker, you're a sleep talker?
Yes.
I
He
can see
shops,
that.
y'all. It's funny. He shops in his sleep.
You ain't gotta-
That's
I'm
hilarious.
like, I'll wake and I'm like,
I want the black ones or the.
like color. Oh, give me. I can't even. Give me 3 of them. Give me 3 of them chumpies. Give me whatever.
That's you sleep shop.
He does.
I don't know. I do.
And he yells. It scares me to death.
What is going on in your
It
dreams?
scares me to death. He's hyper. I'm sure everybody sees that already.
we've
and
seen
so
that.
he
My mind don't
sleeps.
stop. My mind.
His
yeah.
mind does not stop.
What do you do to relax?
Is I enjoy movies.
Okay.
I love going to the movies because it distracts me.
And then he'd probably be writing movies while he's at the
Probably writing the
No,
song,
what he does
soundtrack.
is he listens to he hears differently. And so he doesn't quite do it like if we're at the theater, but if we're watching something at home, he's got to adjust. I'm like, oh, God.
You adjust the sound?
Like, oh, that's okay. I don't want to see it anymore. Yeah, he's got to adjust the bass and all this.
Do you ever come up with song ideas or concepts or lyrics?
Great question.
I don't come up with the concept, but he appreciates my opinion, and so he'll come to me and say, "Hey, what do you think of what's another word?"
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I'll say something like that.
And do you get credit? Do you get songwriting credit?
You know,
She gets shoes. She
that
gets
part.
purses. She gets,
Well, now that she's a TV personality, she should also get credit. For this.
Hey,
She need more than
to
things.
fight for that. Where's
Okay,
your producer?
you gotta
but
fight for your
y'all
credit.
can thank me for the part of the song that goes, oh.
Okay.
Because
she didn't write
I
it.
didn't write
But
that.
she gave the
but
melody.
he had something else.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And I was like,
Yeah.
go back.
And I went back and came
Up with that. I
Yeah,
was
she needs
like,
credit.
much
She
better.
needs more than things now.
I need
She's a
some
TV personality. Yeah, she's a on-air
credit.
talent. She's all that. So she needs more than
I
shoes.
just feel the room of women. In this room. I just feel,
He's just
I feel
taking
the
it.
power.
And
I
I'm
feel,
loving it.
Oh, yes, I'm going to take it.
I'm loving
Is
it.
there going
yes.
to be a season 2 for the one?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
Don't know.
You know.
You like, let
We'll
season
see.
1 start first.
I really want to know on the show, and obviously we only saw the first 2 episodes. I really want to know if those two ever go on a date or something because
We got to stay tuned.
I know
They
you
gotta tell us
can, but
that,
that's
right.
the cool part of the show because I was like when they first met, I was like, oh, maybe
Because they are cute together.
They are
Yeah,
cute
they are.
together.
What do you think about friends of the opposite sex? Like new friends?
I think that depending on, I think if you are a married couple, then there should be some introduction. Like he shouldn't be hanging out with some woman that I don't know, and vice versa. But I think also too that men and women can really learn and grow from each other. And oftentimes we over-sexualize everything. So you assume just because people are hanging out that they have to be romantically involved. And that doesn't have to be the case. So I think it's cool.
Right.
Kirk, what do you think?
Well, I think that there are, well, everything she's saying is true.
Right.
That it should be that way. I also think that there may be situations where a guy may have a good friendship at his job, but they may not have the parties or the opportunities for the wife to meet. And if they are always working together and laughing and talking and it's platonic,
Right.
that it shouldn't be a law that the wife should always have to rush a person from her job home to meet her husband.
Okay.
Now, if they're going to dinner and hanging out to something like that, then yes. But somebody at the job, like that's the homie and we the
Right.
homies, is because it shouldn't be a performance-based relationship. That you should be free to meet anybody, but
Right.
it shouldn't be an authoritarian type of approach to any of it.
Okay.
It's because I think that creates the problem.
Right. You have
Yeah,
to
if
trust.
it's casual
Yeah.
like that, like, hey, how you doing?
We
Yeah.
work together, so
We work
circumstantially,
together.
I'm going to see you every
Yeah.
day, but
Yeah,
we're cool
yeah.
at work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't hang out outside work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if we, something like that. And then also you got to remember something about men, and I do want to say this about men in the conscious conversation. Okay.
That's why I said because I want to
Let me
know if
say
he had the
this.
same. Yeah.
Let me say this. I know. And
And I'm like, what you about to say?
you got to understand that for men, we get along better with women.
Okay.
That when it comes to bonds and friendships, you would be surprised that men have stronger conversations
Yeah.
and
I guess I'm not
engagement.
surprised
Yeah,
by
because
that.
Yeah.
men sometimes
That's
find it hard to
true.
talk to each other.
Yeah.
And
It's a pissing contest.
Yeah.
It's a pissing contest. Sometimes all you want to do is big up, and it's like, bro, I don't want to do any of that with you today. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into always the debates and everything, and it can be very difficult.
I don't trust men who don't have women friends. Like, you know how men will be like...
Interesting.
Because that means that they can only relate to you as a person who is of the opposite sex, which means they look at you as... I can't be friends with someone. I can only relate to
I
you.
find women more intriguing. I find them more.
Well, we are.
more
Yeah, it's a fact.
engaging.
Yeah.
It's like like I'm impressed. I'm sort of like I'm more impressed with the way that a woman thinks. It's like, wow, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And so in that, yes, we are created to be naturally attracted to each other, and we will always have to manage those things. We will always have to fight through those things. But as I tell Tammy all the time, is that one of my mentors told me, and he's 75 years old. Great man, theologian, a couple of PhDs, and I said, Pop, I said, when does it end? I didn't have to say anything. I just said, Pop, when does it end? He said, son, I can tell you. He said, it ain't 73. And so, you know what I'm saying? So, men will always have to deal with that. Men are sexual, visual beings.
And that's why I think you have to be careful, too. Like, as you mentioned, the many things that come from a woman, being careful that you're not, if you're in a relationship, especially marriage, that you're not getting an emotional need met outside of the marriage.
Right.
I feel like that's worse.
That's where
that's tough right there.
So to me, that's where you like, well, y'all need to meet, or this is crossing a line.
Right.
Yeah, you have to be really careful.
I know you guys have a lot going on, but Tammy, I have one more question for you since you're here and we haven't had a chance to talk to you. So,
do you want me to leave?
No,
no.
It's about you. But with Kirk, like I know publicly he's gone through a lot of different things throughout the years of being as famous as he is and being in the spotlight like he is. How do you support him at home? Because I know some of those were difficult times and trying times when everybody on social media is talking about him,
What were some
coming
of
to
those
him.
times?
Like when you did the mixtape, having to deal with issues with your son, family things that became public because you are very open and transparent about things. But how was that for you at home and you having to deal with like that type of heaviness?
That specifically, or just
in general, because
general?
there's been other things that have happened and things that he's been really open and honest about, and then you kind of thinking, well, what does Tammy think about all this?
I think that the thing as a wife and also a mother, and also although our children are adults now, there's still this mama bear in me that I want to be able to make sure that everybody's okay and that he's okay. And then it's hard. It's difficult to watch him go through really hard and difficult things, especially because I know what is actually going on. And that's the hard thing about, especially living in a social media world right now, that you only get snippets. And that was only a snippet.
Yeah.
And you only get that piece. But I know what he's going through privately. I know the work that he's doing. Also, too, I know how it's affecting our kids. And so for me, quite frankly, I think of them first, but I'm realizing that I also have to think about myself because my feelings quite often are delayed, sometimes 2 and 3 days, a week later. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, what is this that I'm feeling? I'm like, okay, I've got to make sure I'm filling my cup and I'm taking care of myself because my natural go-to is, how's he doing?
Everybody else.
How's he doing? I think that's how we respond as women in general. And I am often amazed how the delayed reaction of how I feel when I go through something. And when that happens, I have my own therapist. I have my friends. I have my mom. And sometimes I'm like, okay, now it's me.
Right.
I'm
Sometimes
taking care of
everybody
them.
leave me alone.
Yes.
Also
Yeah.
for
Now
a
it's
minute,
me.
so I can. No, I feel that you got to take care of the whole family, and then now I could have a moment to myself and
Yes.
deal with my feels.
Absolutely. What they say when you're on an airplane, you
Take
put
care
on
of your own
yes,
mask
put your oxygen
first,
mask
and then
on, and then And sometimes I don't necessarily have the time to do that. I do that delayed, but I'm learning to do it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. I like seeing the two of you together on the one. So
Thank
that
you.
actually premieres on the 18th.
Yes, May 18th. 9 p.m., 8 Central on TV1.
I love that he's just sitting back like, Tammy, you take over, please.
I love it. Very proud.
All right.
Very proud of him.
Well, we're happy to have both of you, and
And
we'll.
I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
Can we
so
just
proud
stop
of
and say
you.
it for a minute? You know, man, you have just take it in. Okay.
Kirk,
Yeah.
keep talking to the mic.
You know, just watching you, where you've come from, your story, what you've endured, and just how you continue to speak for your community, for women, and this entrepreneurship that is just seemed to be innately and just instinctive in you. And now watching you in here, and it's so girly. It's just so
I
girly.
love it.
You know,
It smells good and everything.
Yeah. And you do it with excellence. Like you do everything with excellence, from the coffee shop to
Oh,
to
that's right. Kirk came to the coffee
yeah.
shop.
Oh,
And,
good.
Yeah,
and
to
I
just
did
all
your
the-
podcast, and I
yeah.
put him on FaceTime with Plies.
Yeah,
Oh,
finally,
your twin.
finally,
Uh-huh.
finally,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
So just extremely proud of you, and just for how you continue to represent just your generation and your generation of women. So it's super dope.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you both up here.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And awesome to meet you too,
Oh,
Jasmine.
good to meet you too.
Yeah.
And thank you for letting me be on your platform. Sometimes I've seen some things on me on there, and and you really do it really
We try to be
She's
neutral.
classy.
Yeah, but you give it, like you for the culture still. Though.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a little,
love
it gets
it.
a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be,
But
though.
but you do a good job for the culture.
Thank you, I
It's really
appreciate
dope.
that.
It's dope. So
Thank you.
so really thank y'all
Well,
for
thank you.
having us.
Congratulations to all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's about to get credit on some songs too.
Right?
So
Yeah.
perfect. All right.
We way up, baby.
Yeah.